like this so much that I wanted to make it Hungarian Goulash. My mom, however, never used spices. She did use butter, which made me big right here. Now I buy organic whenever I can. I got 2 kind of baby bella and white mushrooms, an onion, and wine. Oh yeah, plus I'll be sipping it too. Woo! And I'm gonna put my 1 onion. You know, as a kid, I lived in the Bronx. I could tell what people were having for dinner. I'm like, that's Italian. Ooh, it smells so good. Ooh, I love goulash. So, bring it to a party and have some fun. Hi, and welcome again to Danny's Angle and Danny's Kitchen. Today, I'm making a 1-pot meal. But something very different. I kind of like this so much that I wanted to make it Hungarian goulash. Ooh, I love goulash. And there's several ways to make it, and I'm going to make it my way. So come on to my kitchen. Before I tell you what you need, grab a cup of coffee. You know, I think cooking is a lot like when I did stand-up. I did stand-up for a long time, and people would go, everything's been done. Everything. But it's your take on it. It is same with cooking. You know, I've learned over the years how to cook, and I've built on it, and I've watched other people, and I love cooking, and I love my grandmother cooked really, really well. And she used a lot of spices. But my mom, however, never used spices. But she did use butter, which made me big right here. Woo! I had a lot to shake. You know, I was size 5'12", size 5 top and 12 bottom. Is that out of proportion? I think so. So as a teenager, you know, I grew up with big hips and tiny up here, and that's the way it was until I met my husband. He said, you know, you're a little bit out of proportion. So I worked in the airport, and I went up to my friend and I said, Dawn, am I out of proportion? She said, well, a little. So I went on a diet and I learned how to eat. And I shopped in health food stores, but they weren't big in the 70s. But I found some because I really wanted to get away from the way my mom cooked. And I wanted to eat healthy. So today, what we're going to need for Hungarian goulash, woo, is they discovered paprika. And they use paprika. Now I got this beef chuck, and I cut it up myself. It's about 2.5 pounds. And you want a chuck because you want it to cook tender. Crushed tomatoes we're going to use. Some chicken broth. People use beef broth. I use chicken broth. That's me. Mushrooms. Now I buy organic whenever I can. I got 2 kind of baby bella and white mushrooms. And what else? An onion, garlic, of course, tomatoes, and I'm going to put carrots in at the end. I feel like 3 carrots, and I like these carrots. They're rainbow carrots. They're kind of pretty. Paprika, caraway seeds, and bay leaf. These are the spices that are going to go into my Hungarian goulash. Ooh. And I'm going to use virgin olive oil and wine. Oh yeah, plus I'll be sipping it too. Woo! And I like this. These noodles are very good. You know how noodles get, you put them in a soup and they get all mushy and they dissolve? These do not. They're from Whole Foods and they're extra white noodles. I love these. So I think I said everything. Did I? I did. But, I mean, that's kind of the thing. I mean, everything's been done. You know, just like stand-up, everything's been done, but it's your take on it. It's how you like it. It's what you like. Sometimes I'll look at a recipe and I'll say, I don't really like that. I'm going to change it. And I do, and it turns out really, really well. Usually, my family loves my stuff. Once in a great while, they're like, what is this? I made something, and they're like, I froze it, and then we took it out, and they're like, what is this? And I'm like, I forgot God, I don't know. But that happens, you know, and that's how you learn to cook. And, you know, I am ashamed to admit it. Yes, I am ashamed. But I really recently discovered cilantro. Now, I never used it. I used a lot of parsley because of my mom, but I never used cilantro until my son-in-law made me guacamole. Oh, now I love cilantro. I mean, I even tried to grow it unsuccessfully because parsley and cilantro, I can't grow for some reason. But I'm going to keep trying. I am going to probably try to get seeds for cilantro, and because I love the smell of it now, and I love it. But I never did before. So come on into my kitchen and let's make Hungarian goulash my way. So we're going to put olive oil in the pan and just put it all over. And then we're going to add 2.5 pounds of beef chuck to this. We'll put it on and we're going to brown the meat. That's all we're going to do now. Whoa, that's hot. Come on, sorry about that. Get in there. We're going to let that brown. And just put that all over, and then we're going to take, I'm going to wash, get another glass bowl, and we're going to set the meat back aside out of the bowl. So, and then we'll get to the next step. There are several steps. Now we're going to take off the meat. It's brown, and I washed this pan and putting it back. I'm going to set it aside for a bit, and we're going to keep the juices that's in here too. That smells good, really does. And as I say, it's about 2.5 pounds of chuck, beef chuck. You know, some people use hamburger meat. I like it this way, I do. So I'll continue to get this out, and we'll go to the next step. So I'm going to put this on, and I'm going to add my onions. And I have a little bit of olive oil left in there. And I'm going to put my 1 onion and my 4 cloves of garlic. Two bay leaves. And 2 teaspoons of caraway seeds. And 2 tablespoons of paprika. And we're just going to let that get all mixed up in there. And then we're going to add our Pinot Noir wine. 2 cups of wine. Or you could add Merlot. Merlot is very good too. And we're going to let that just cook a little bit down a very low light. Then we'll add 2 cups of wine to that. Now the spices have come together with the onions and the garlic. Wow, does it smell good. Now we're going to add our 2 cups of wine to this. One. And 2. And we're going to let that cook down just a little bit. And then we're going to add everything else. The meat back. We're going to let that cook just a little bit down to get that going. Wow, does that smell good? I think I could take a taste. I'm going to take a taste of this wine. Let you know how it is. It's really good. I like Merlot or Pinot Noir wine. But I like red wine. I don't like white wine. That's me though. Okay, now it's time to add our tomatoes. I have cherry tomatoes. I'm going to put my crushed tomatoes. A can of crushed tomatoes. Just put that in there. And my chicken broth. I'm going to use a little bit, probably a half of this. And see how that's probably it. A little bit more. And that's about a half. So this is a quart of chicken broth. And I used about half of it. Which is about 2 cups. I'd say. You know, some people use a lot of paprika. They use 3 tablespoons of paprika. I felt that was a little too much, so I did not. Now I'm going to add my meat back to this. And I'm going to add everything else. I'm going to let that cook down for probably about 2 hours. And I'm going to add my mushrooms. And then I'll add my carrots a little bit later when it's cooked down a little bit. I'm going to add about 3 carrots to that. Now I'm going to let this simmer on a very low light for a couple hours. Wow, just the smell is, wow, that smells so good. I might take a little taste now. Wow, that is delicious. So, with all the spices coming into play, I'm going to put a cover, I'm going to put the cover on that, and we're going to let that cook down, and we'll come back. Now we're going to add our large rainbow carrots to this. And also this is beef chuck. And beef chuck takes longer because it is a very tough piece of meat. So this is why you want it to be fork tender. You want the meat to be very tender so that it just almost splits apart. And we're going to cook that down for at least 2 hours. We'll see how it goes. We'll come back and give it a check on. But I have it on, I'm putting it on low. And with the top on. And we'll come back. So this has been cooking about 2 hours. And I added 1 chicken bouillon to this. And I'm going to continue to cook it. But I just wanted to show you how beautiful it looks. Now I'm going to have that tonight with egg noodles. I got the egg noodles from Whole Foods. And I'm going to top it off. These extra wide noodles. I love these noodles. You're looking for noodles that won't fall apart. This is your guy. And it really smells delicious. Really, really does. And then I'm going to top it off with some Greek yogurt. And that's what we're going to do. So egg noodles and Greek yogurt. Oh boy, this is, you can smell how good this smells. So come along with me and take a taste. Now, did you make yours? I hope so. You know, as a kid, I lived in the Bronx, and we were in an apartment, and I could tell what people were having for dinner. I'm like, that's Italian. Ooh, it smells so good. You know, because it permeates through the whole hallway. And this dish as well. I mean, you can smell it anywhere in the house. It smells like delicious. So it's going to cook a few more hours, I think, because it's not quite, you know, the meat isn't quite tender. You want to put a fork through it and let it just fall apart. So come on, taste it with me. Come on. If you made it, I'm just going to really, wow. And it's not even really done yet, but the flavors of everything came together. The wine, paprika, caraway seeds, onions, garlic, everything. So, like this video, subscribe to my channel. For those of you who have subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I also really, really like your comments. It really helps me to grow. People say, why don't you make this? Or, well, like, you know, I like what you're doing. And I thank you for that very much. Thanks. So, come again to Annie's Angle. Have a real nice day. Thanks for stopping in. And next time you come, I love to cook. I love to cook. I'm a fitness instructor. I love crafts. Somebody said to me, why don't you make more crafts? I make a lot of crafts. And sometimes I think, gee, what am I going to do? You know, and it inspires me. So thank you for that. Come again and have a real nice day. Bye-bye for now.